5 lengths, Lightsaber to Raf, Cinnamon late from Maria Mia, but Marabi, 100 metres to go, 4 lengths in front from Cinnamon flying, but she destroys them. Marabi won it.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot. I'm based in the Gold Coast now, and Walt, he's based in his dungeon. Couldn't get him in again. We're under duress. We're under COVID lockdown, or at least Walt is. But, gee whiz, Walt, I must smell.
Well, you do, but no, legitimate reasons so far. Deaths and funerals and COVID and just the roller coaster that is my life. But I actually am in lockdown in the dungeon this week, which is pretty much my whole life anyway, but usually they let me out for an hour or two to see you crackheads.
It's been crazy. Little Birdie started, and I think we've done all bar 4 weeks in COVID, so the whole business is basically a COVID business, and I think we've had more COVID dramas up at the Gold Coast, which is crazy, but it's the truth. And without further ado, we'll welcome back DK, who's also been in hiding. He's been on holidays, but welcome back out of the Melbourne studio, DK.
Hello, Scooty. Yes, good to be back. Good freshen up. Come up and see you boys up on the Gold Coast. Although I did avoid one time seeing Walt was enough, so I swerved the second time, which says well judged. But just slowly getting back into it. So, but the weather, mate, the weather down here, what is going on? I've got Nico here with me, mate. I've got the hoodie on today. It's been freezing
down here in Melbourne, but the racing's starting to heat up a bit. We've got Group 1 racing next week, DK, so at least that's something. But absolutely freezing this morning for your little jog this morning. Was the hoodie on for that as well?
No, my legs are starting to struggle, man. I can't back up too well. I went yesterday, but we've had those races which are absolutely pissed down. So we lost Friday night. Sail got called off. It was tropical weather. I felt like we're in Malaysia or something, the weather. And now we could be in the bottom of New Zealand, and it's going to spark back up for the weekend. So typical bloody Victorian weather, Mexico. But on we bat. But how's the weather up there, Scooty?
Yeah, well, I'm never coming back. I'll come back for streams and a couple of shows here and there, but I think I might pull the right rein. And if I said I was missing...
We throw a disclaimer into Group 1 Melbourne racing is not Group 1 racing. Can we throw that in for PVL?
For PVL, yeah.
We got Gosford on today. I don't spruik that. Like, that's about the same level as your Group 1.
What about you, Nico? 4 from 8 on top yesterday. Good to be out there.
Good to be back. Good to be back at Sandown. Small fish are sweet, as Matty Hill said yesterday, and we were on the right end of a few shorties there, but Jamie Carr just dominating early, and then Mar Eustace also dominating. I think they trained 3 winners, and we were on the right side of most of them. So, good card out there at Sandown yesterday, and keen to rip into Saturday as well. Of course, Walt just giving us a little dig there. Palale's decided to stay up in Sydney, so we'll give him that one.
That came through, yeah.
Yeah, that's come through earlier this morning, but still a handy card this Saturday at Caulfield, and keen to get out there. And the weather should be a lot better, DK, for Caulfield Saturday, so that's something.
Yeah, no, it is going to be a beautiful weekend. I think 28 or something, isn't it, mate? So it'll be lovely.
She looks like she's stripping very fit at the moment, Jay Carr. And let's just rewind quickly. Marabi, what's the ceiling for this horse? I might throw to you first, Nico, and then we'll get DK's thoughts. Walt's probably and must miss on this one.
Big win last Saturday, wasn't it, in the Australia Stakes? Absolutely brained him. Probably the best I'd seen her parade. She's a horse that kind of could get a bit fizzed up sort of early in her career, but she's really starting to put it all together, and it showed in the yard, and I think she backed up that performance on the track. She looks like she's only getting better. That early speed she can show at the front end of the race, and then she just dominates late with a turn of foot.
My second favourite missed the start, so that was it. So the race was over after 200 metres, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think she goes to the Oakley Plate now, which is, 3 or 4 weeks, and probably a moral there again. Doesn't look like anything's jumped out.
It'll just depend if she gets taken on for that early speed, I would think, But that's what holds her in. The draw there will be key. But look, it was a one-horse race the other day, so we won't get those all the time. But that early speed and how far she can go early puts her in good stead. But be interesting to see. Yeah, but she's getting deep into the. She's been up for a while, so there'll be some fresh legs in that Oakley Plate. You would think. Be interesting.
Hard to beat.
I would have thought so too. And all the talk out of Sydney last week was Rose Hill and how the track played. But, Walt, you alluded to its track profile. It's more the way Rose Hill plays when the rail's in that position. I don't think things are really going to change there.
It's like blowing up at lunchtime that it's lunchtime. I don't know what I don't understand what the drama's about. But anyway, yesterday was 100 times worse at the Kens. That track yesterday's an abomination. I don't know, and no blow-ups yesterday, but
I saw Mark Sheen. Did Mark Sheen say to you that, or something, that At some stage yesterday, must have been up, maybe coming to the last or the second last, of the last 21 races in Sydney, 20 winners were rails in run.
Every, and I think he was wrong. I think the winner come down the middle that wasn't there, but he was on the fence in the run and then got to the middle. But I think it's like 3 meetings in a row. Every winner's been on the rail in the run.
Yeah, amazing. But it's I was thinking because it's the rail position. I didn't follow a lot, but I assume it was because of the rail position was a contributing factor there on Saturday. And it's just a big thing you have to get your head around. The different tracks are the different rail positions. Like I'm a bit gun shy today at Warrnambool because the 8 metre rail at Warrnambool is a completely different track to the rail true. It really tightens up the turn. And I noticed last meeting was out 8 or 9 metres. Things were crabbing around the turn. B. McDougall got off one and said, because the rail was out 9, I was going straight to the front because I was going to be very hard to run down. And sometimes when you do the form at Warrnambool, you think, big track, things will be able to run on. So it's just getting your head around those rail positions.
Well, similar this Saturday at Caulfield, the rail's out 9 metres as well. So like usually Caulfield, big meetings, you'd be sort of in the true. Rail out 9 metres. There's a few horses there sort of kicking off their campaigns where they're going to get to on the map. Paleo was probably one of them. If it was a day where it's like mad on speed, like it was probably a few weeks ago there for the Australia Day meeting. It definitely has to be factored in to your early form, that's for sure. And I think it was, last week I imagine Animo, that's probably the reason he got beat due to the rail position there. He was a big run in defeat. And then a few horses like Overpass, I don't know how many people would have marked him sort of so urgent and finding the front, but that's what you get with TC, just straight to the front, too strong.
Joe Waltz was he Waltz man, wasn't he? TC.
I put in a bid there for it to lead, and they said, no, we want Bellucci Bay to lead and it to sit outside it. And I'm like, well, good luck, it won't jump, but it probably stopped me from backing it. I was filthy. If I'd have known it was going to be handlebars down, it would have been nice.
A little bit of tactics paranoia up there in Sydney. Let's go to a little bit of a tweet from you, Walt. When are the change of tactics supposed to be in? So Walt not happy with the early release of change of tactics. And I see Bjorn Baker's been fine. We'll throw up another tweet here. He's got $500 on Mudgee here. The change of tactics weren't announced early enough. But why would you bother? And $500 to Bjorn. I saw him cheer home a winner on Saturday. And wow, I'll tell you what, it'd be a drop in the ocean.
This is more significant. The second tweet is more significant than the first, as in change of tactic, who cares, and it was me. But the second one's the one. Okay, Bjorn throws, I think he threw it in after the race because he forgot or something. Either way, if he doesn't tell anyone and the jockey gets out, he goes, listen, just dwelled a bit, decided to go back, nothing happens. Waller does it 10 minutes before the race and play on because he didn't know that when the rail goes out after being at Rose Hill for 20 years that it's a mad lead offence. And yet Bjorn does the same thing and gets 500.
The whole rule just needs to be scrapped. Why would you, here we're racing for money. It's meant to be a competition. Why would you even bother tell everyone else what you're going to do in the race? It seems frivolous and a waste of time for me as a competitor.
100%.
Why would you tell anyone what you're going to do? Cat and mouse. And I think you'd see...
Everyone needs to or no one needs to. There can't be an in-between. It's either you go in and tell the stewards exactly how you're going to ride your horse and they publicise it to everybody, which is ridiculous, or you sack it all because, that's it. Tactics has got to be part of the game.
Oh, they're hot on it down here. I think it was Donald on the weekend. They gave a trainer with 2 horses $300 fine or something for not telling them that she told the jockey to go forward. So they do enforce it down here. It's in the stewards report every day, every second day. So as this, it's good. We just want consistency as punters. So one rule for one for all but there might be different rules up there in North Korea.
There's a couple of little variations of what they do with mares, and I think we just need some clarity around that and just scrap it all together, or as Walt says. But yeah, there's a big leading trainer up in New South Wales that as soon as they draw a wide gate, they're instantly going back, and it doesn't matter where they are positioned in the market. They're very quiet runs, and it's just so obvious. And I guess the recreational punter at home is probably struggling with that, and I think that's very important that we get that fixed up for the new players in the game. But speaking of another hot topic that absolutely blew up Twitter yesterday was the mug punter. I think the last one we tipped, I think Jesus was playing halfback for Jerusalem. It's been that long ago, but Matty Rose, Mug's moral is a swing and missing all too often. But he tweeted out to his loyal legion yesterday, how do I get my confidence back on the punt? I think it's a pretty important topic, and I think we might just go around the room in terms of how everyone are approaching. I think DK's got a little bit of a top 10 response, and I think the way I'd do it is A, take a break, and then B, once you've had your break, I'd be looking at the market a lot and trying to figure out what the market moves and the prices are telling you, and try and get your head around what the indicators in the market are saying, whether you like a horse, don't like a horse, whether a horse is shortened, where they position in the run, and respect the market and take in some market intelligence into your betting, and get yourself back into it that way after a bit of a break and a mental reset. What do you reckon, Walt?
Yeah, I'm the opposite to all that. I go harder. I stop looking at the market. I know it's not my fault, so I go looking for the Chinaman that I must have run over in a previous life. I apologise to their family, and then I get back on the horse and I ride it till she bucks you once again. I think mate, it's just all one. If your process is all right, just keep following your process. It'll work itself out. If it's not, which, I'm not saying the mug might be in that boat, but if you're a source man, you're always going to run into runs of outs that hurt because you're always taking short odds. And I think that is more prevalent in people in that sort of space tend to ride the roller coaster a bit harder than others.
What about you, Nico?
I'm similar to Walt. I just sort of get the head down and keep getting through it. Just find one winner, and then I feel like I'm back on top of the world after that. So I just get deeper into it, which sometimes doesn't help. But I don't know. You can go both ways, or you can have the little freshen up and sort of try that route. But I think either can work. You just got to get one winner, and I think you're back sweet after that.
DK?
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, I'll give you a serious answer first. I'd say you got to look at it's all for me. It's all review, and it's where the horses are mapping and what they're doing in the market. What Scoot said. So if you're backing horses who are mapping well and they're very solid in the market, around that price point that generally wins races, even money to $5 to $6, and they're solid in the market, you just keep batting on, play on, you ride the variance. But if you're backing horses who are mapping shit house and drifting all the time, then you got issues. You got problems. You have to reset or have a look at what you're doing. So basically, if they're just getting beat, they're getting beat, but they're mapping well, they're shortening in the betting or solid, just play on. But that particular dodge was too good. This was too good to let go. These responses the mug got. So there was he got nearly 100 responses from. I mean, that's the great game. You read through it. It was a great thread to read.
He's an influencer, DK.
Hey?
100 responses.
He got about 100 responses. The mug were people trying to help the mug. The mug, he's a popular man. The mug, people want to help him.
The people's punter.
Yeah, he's one of the people's punter. He's not the punter's punter, but he's the people's punter. So I thought we'd better. I did a top 10. I went through this morning. Now I didn't have enough room on this page to credit everyone who wrote them, but I've noted them down, and so I'll go from 10 through to 1. And number 10, I think this is a big one. We all see what the mug eats. He's not the best on the tooth. So number 10 was an improved diet for the mug. Less sour cream and less Coke for breakfast. And then someone did clarify that was Coca-Cola, not, so Coca-Cola for breakfast. As we see, the mug loves a big can of Coke for breakfast. So that was number 10. I think we all agree with that. Number 9, someone said head up to the Gold Coast and spend some time with Scooty and Walt and swap the Coke for the Hulk.
Take that from the list.
Swap the Coke for the Hulk juice. Get on the Hulk juice instead of the Coke. So someone thought
if
that
he ends
might
up
help.
here, he'll end up off the old Coke and on the new Coke. So just keep him away from the GC.
Someone said this one resonated. Someone said get a 365 bowler account. If you want to play yourself into form, they're very, very hard to lose with a Bet365 bowler account, as we know. But the only thing is these days they probably last about maybe 1 bet, 2 bets if you're lucky. But I did think that's a good way to. Not many people have a losing 365 bowler account. A couple of people said take 4 fields in the quaddie and guarantee yourself a collect. Field.
Just get a winner.
Get a winner. Just actually hit the target. Get something back. No, you're going to have a collect.
I think he's looking for a change-up, so I don't think that one's really for him either. I think he's looking for something different to try.
That's nice.
Number 6. There was plenty of people what go and waltz way. Keep ploughing. Double up. Double the bet. The more the bet, the more you get. Back short of the faves and put more on. Don't think, just bet. So gamble responsibly, of course, but there's plenty of people just telling the mug to keep going. Number 5, now this resonates because I went to the Magic Millions and we're up there at the Magic Millions. Someone said just start syndicating horses. Want to build your bank back up? My God, the money that's thrown around those sales and all the different side angles and things that go on there, like you want to get some cash, mug, get into syndicating horses. This is a good one for Walt because he starts reverse. If you watch a race with him, he starts reverse mozzing from the moment they leave the gates. So number 4 was start laying everything you're going to back. If everything's losing, start laying the things. All right. Number 3, I don't know. I didn't really understand this one, but I thought it'd get a mention because it said, have a play on the old see-through didgeridoo. Whatever that means. I thought that was all right, the see-through didgeridoos, mate. Scoot. that made number 3, Scoot.
You won't sleep for days.
Number 2, Ned, this is a good one. Watch the movie Let It Ride every night before a big day on the punt. It's one of the all-time greats. I had mates back when we were in our 20s that put it on every morning before they went to the races to get motivated. If you need motivation, put that movie on. It is, and anyone who hasn't seen it, go and get it. Go and watch it. It is the best punting movie of all time. And number 1 was a bloke went through his routine. He said to the mug, head down to your local knock shop, mug. Head down to the local knock shop, pay the extra and grab an extra bird and have a threesome. He said, and that really clears your mind, half an hour and then it clears your mind. Then head down to the tab and play trackside for a couple of hours, give that a spin, so you go there. Then play into the cafe next door, get the hamburger with the lot, and that'll bring you back to brand new. So I thought that sounded like a pretty good way to swing back into action, mug. So, yeah, there we go. That was DK's top 10. How was that?
The oil and grease change, that's a full service, I would have thought.
Full service, yeah. Have a full service, yeah. But I think Harry Finlay said it best. He said, when you're flying, you're never as good as you think you are. And when you're on the bones of your ass, you're never going as bad as you feel you are, Sometimes you think you're never ever going to win again. But you'll be right, mug. You'll bounce back. As Nico said, you're one win away from back in business, aren't you? You just need one strike.
Any thoughts there, Walt?
He's beyond help, that fella.
I think Mug might need a dose of COVID. Look what it did to Rafa. It spurred him onto a title. Let's get the show back on the road. Outstanding work, DK, and everyone that jumped on with the Mug's advice. That was an absolute crack up. Head to Mug's profile and get a load of that because it's classic stuff. But today we're going to talk about Caulfield. We're going to talk about the races, surprisingly. Terry Leighton's going to join us for some best bets at Ascot. 2 and 3 year old Magic Millions races are on over there at Pinjarra, Royal Pinjarra, and Mug. He'll hopefully swing and hit this time. He's probably 0-6 since he's come back from his summer break, but he's knocking at the door down. TopSport Steam is there due also. But up first, Walt's going to have a look at Randwick. But DK's got back in the studio. He's picked up his Manscaped shaver. I got rolled the other day. I was sitting here at my desk and I've put the weed whacker up the nose. Alana's walked in and she's like, "You don't do that there, do you?" And I'm like, "Well, it's so easy. I just do." And she said, "I'm not vacuuming the floor. I refuse to do it." So I'm in strife for the Manscaped weed whacker there. But you can get 20% off also. Head to manscaped.com and just type in Little Birdie, the way we spell it, and you get 20% off, which is a great deal. And I'm actually tipping the Lawnmower 3.0. I think their older version is better than the 4.0. So DK and the boys don't know any different. They've got the 4.0, but I think the 3.0 is maybe a little bit cheaper, and the older model is actually a little bit better.
Yeah, looking all right there, Scoot. I'm sitting down here, but I'll need the 4.0. I think I'm getting a bit woolly and getting a bit old. So I'll be getting into the Manscaped stuff. I'm getting a bit woolly at the moment. I was just looking at that.
I think you need another haircut, DK. You're looking sharp as up at the Gold Coast, so I think you're due for a clip. And if you put the Manscaped around the beard, you'll be $1 million. Well,
mate.
No, I don't remember what DK looked like. What did we see him?
Yeah. You dropped me home, remember? Back the thing, and then I thought, do I really want to see Walt again? Probably not. So,
mate, you missed a cracking day where I was there stroking the dog. It was very exciting.
All I saw was a photo of you under the desk after the golden slip, after the golden
millions.
After the Magic Millions. Yeah. And I thought, oh dear. Anyway.
All right, let's have a look at Randwick. We'll get a little bit serious. Walt only does one race. He's part-time on the show, and he's definitely working remote from his little Sanctuary Cove office there. But the Eskimo Prince is a race he's going to preview here for us. The odds courtesy of TopSport. Palelli has been 250 into 230 with news. It's going that way. Converge is 6 into 460. Ranch Hand, nice trial, 7 into 650. They're all shortened. Must be a sports bet job there again at Tristan's place. Halal has been 17 to 13.
Couple of scratchings.
Yes, Ranch Hand. What's it doing? I heard Preble saying he was riding it somewhere.
It's going to Sydney.
Yeah. I think they got the J-Mac on it there. Halal, $13. Captivant, 17. Coastwatch, 17. And Giannis, the Greek Freak, $19. We're going to have a look at 2 trials here. I've snuck one in on your Walt. But the first one we're going to have a look at.
This?
Let's just converge. The first one, just weaving in red. Talk us through this.
The yellow cap there on about 6.
Now we had Tilly and Am and on Tont. Tilly and Am goes to on Tont, and peeling off them now is Celino and Kalash.
Did you need a steering wheel here, or it just needs room?
Yeah, just worry about the last 50, mate.
It's Tilly and Am the leader. Now Converge right over.
Hold the phone.
And Converge.
Here we go.
Win the opener impressively. Converge first, Tilly and Am second. Third was more profits than on Tont.
What's this horse's ideal distance, Walt, in your opinion?
Oh, Randwick, Randwick Guineas, whatever the mile is. Randwick Guineas is probably its ideal target and race. You would say that that's his go now that they've worked out that he just needs to settle that bit in his races before hitting the line. But sort of 1,400 a mile, ideally, I reckon will be his pet trip.
And then what happened to him last preparation? Because he only had one start and was off the boil.
So he trialled obviously quite well going into that as well, but then he had a virus and just completely cut his preparation on the spot. I think they sort of ran him knowing that he may not be 100%, but hoping that it was just an anomaly. I think it might have been going through the stable and he hadn't had a temp or anything. But after the race, it was pretty evident that he had the virus when he ran, and they just cut him and put him away. So yeah, no damage there, just a complete forgive. And like he had a full preparation, got up to racing and he's been out. So it's not as if he's had a really long spell or anything like that. He's just had a good break.
Yeah, it was super up in Queensland, emphatic winner there. But okay, let's have a look at Halal, Ranch Hand and Gianna spin around here. And I guess the eye catcher is Ranch Hand in the purple. Looks like a bit of a new horse here on the inside in the Waller colours.
Just watch the last 50 when these things are in reverse.
He's just absolutely under a hold. You got Halal on his outside. Giannis is up front there. And I tell you what, he's got that picky grip on him now. He's trying to make him go into reverse.
You're lucky he only did the last 100 there. Otherwise, we would have had to lengthen the show for another 20 minutes. No, one was a group trial. One was a trial where they've hacked up the straight. He's obviously trialled quite well, Ranch Hand, and he's one that can go forward in this race potentially when there aren't too many that can. So it's hard with the old Waller team to know which one's on the job. But James McDonald riding, it's obviously a pretty good pointer that it's the one and it's drawn nicely to sort of hold a spot if that's its go. And I think they've worked out he's not a miler, that he's sort of a 1,200 metre horse. So I think this will be the first time you'll get to see the best of Ranch Hand this prep.
He's a fresh horse too, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, he's won. I think he's 2 from 3 first up, and he won down the straight there first up last time.
Yeah, ran 5th in the Coolmore as well down the straight, or 5th or 4th, I think. So, he did win first up, beating Ingratiating, which is kind of a similar level to Palele, who's your favourite here, sort of 230 around that mark. So they got Olfen 3-year-olds. They've got a fair few of them at the moment. So, look, Palele was down the road in Melbourne and looked hard to beat, but they've obviously gone up to Sydney. So he actually trialled pretty well. Also, I don't think we have any vision of that, but he was charging to the line there late with Colette. So pretty deep race, but that's the first time I actually seen the Converge trial, and looks like he's back in very good order this prep, DK.
He did, yeah. No, he loved that work, as he said, the last 50 there. It's good. It's interesting when they trial horses, just you've got the blinkers. I know he's probably a blinkers horse, but just when they trial him in blinkers, like they're pretty fair dinkum,
They're having a crack.
Yeah, so I reckon he's going to be ready to go on the weekend, even though he'll improve into the prep.
So Palele, Walt, $2.30 at TopSport. You expecting a drift, but still like its chances?
Yeah. I probably want $8 or $9 to back Palele, so it's not one that I've got even in the race. To be fair, he's not one of mine, but if they race it, probably. I don't think he's 1,200 metre first up horse. I don't think this is his target. I don't think they really care about this race, and I think that stable's really important to get them right with their timing. And I don't, I don't think this is his race. You want to be chiming in at $2.30 anyway. I think you found the danger, Ranch Hand, and I think if Converge settles in the first 4 or 5 comfortably, I don't think they'll be holding him off.
All right, what do you think, Palele?
I thought the top one actually was the one that was the value in the race. Pardon me, the Captive On. I thought its form is completely underrated, and what I like about it is that it was going really well when Snowden's horses were going like busted crab. So if Captivant's picked up whatever the rest of them have picked up, he could be the blowout horse here. I think he's like 25 to 1, and I can't work that out when he's sort of half a length in the Congo and a San Domenico and run well in a Run to the Rose second Caulfield Guineas, and obviously let him up in that Cox Plate where he just went
Oh, yeah. he's
Too
good
quick
horse,
and
captain, mate.
a complete forgive there.
Horse has got genuine ability.
Yeah, no, he's. I remember him down here. He ran some terrific races, didn't he?
Yeah, big run in the Guineas, and did he lead up the Cox Plate from memory?
Yeah.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
He was vulnerable there, but no, that's big odds for him.
What's the grand final for Pilelli then, Walt?
I don't know. He's not one of my sort of horses, to be honest. I just don't really treat him too seriously. So I'm not down the rabbit hole with him, but I just don't see him being ready for 1,200 metres first up, and that's the main reason why I'm penning him pretty much on Saturday, unless he gets right out the gate.
Okay, so Converge, definitely mark favourite for Walt, and Ranch Hand is the danger.
I will keep you into my secret recipe there that I sent the clip of Davo declaring Pilelli to Timmy, and that means Timmy will be on the job because he likes nothing more than getting over the top. He actually likes jamming me more, but he would like nothing more than to just say to Davo, "How did Pilelli go, champ?"
Oh, he's so vengeful, Walt. He's so angry. If you want to see more of Walt's action, make sure you head to racingwatch.com.au and then jump at his Discord channel for all the weird and wonderful advice and life advice in there. But good luck in the dungeon, Walt. Hopefully I'll see you next week.
Can I just pick his brain on one thing before we go? Just as far as 8-year-old 53-start maidens go, Walt, have we worked out how they win a race yet?
Was that the thing that won the other day? And then what was it? We worked it out that their 74th start, they're likely to improve on a good track when the humidity is between 40 and 68%. And that I did the form for that race and thought, well, there's one horse in the race that was fast. It looked a quarter horse, and I thought, maybe it'll lead and win over 800. Oh my God! But we're faced with so many races like that in New South Wales now. It's crazy. There's just so many camels getting around that you're trying to find the least camel, and a 55 start maiden pops up. Far out. It's like the trots.
That's right. That's what it seemed like.
And it pissed him.
Yeah, I didn't see the rail pissed in. Oh, beauty. That's good.
Well, good luck over the next week, Walt, in the dungeon. I'm not sure how it's going to go for the melon, but you're well accustomed to it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be right.
All right, now it's time to talk Caulfield. We'll get straight into it with Nick Noonan. The first race we're going to have a look at is race 4. It's the Chairman Stakes. And I need to get my odds ready, courtesy of topsport.com.au. And Renuso is the favourite here, $2.40. Sebenak is $5. Equivocal $8.50. Mrs. Patmore $8.50. Bay 13 $9.50. Nana Gui is $10, and New Hampshire is $19. Kiko is $20 and better. The rest. The replay we're going to have a look at here is a jump out, Nico. Sebenak from the Hawks Yard. I think it's in the orange with the black cap.
Yeah, actually in front of him is Renoso as well. So this is pretty key for this race. Looking at him coming to the straight here, Sebenak actually jumped a little bit better than took a sit. Renoso, I think he's going to sit a lot closer in this race compared to what he did in the spring. This is probably the crucial part of their work here. Sebenak's asked for a bit of an effort. This is his second jump out and does go with Renoso and sort of really monsters him there late. He's a much bigger horse. If we just keep the vision rolling here through the line, Sebenak's really strong against Renoso here as well. So I think that jump out would indicate there's not that much between them. Renoso's obviously had the race day experience, but Renoso kind of looking at him as a type during the spring, it wouldn't shock me at all if there's a big burly sort of autumn 2-year-old colt that can come out and go past a horse like Renoso, and that could be Sebenak, who off we saw from the jump out there and the jump out previously. Looks like he has a fair bit of ability for Team Hawks.
Didn't you have that sort of scenario yesterday with the 2-year-olds? With the smaller race experience horse up against a really nice debutant good
exactly.
looker?
Territory Titan coming up against Ruthless Dame, I'm pretty sure. And it's that time of the year, isn't it, where the autumn 2-year-olds, they obviously don't bust them up in the spring, they hold them back and then they can really sort of go straight past that spring form. And even Renoso's spring form could be a bit questionable around sort of Burton, when he probably bumped into a proper 2-year-old and Ebhar in the Merson Cooper. He was well beaten. So I think there's probably only sort of 2 or 3 chances here. I thought New Hampshire was over the odds. I kind of had him third favourite. No one's going to find him because he's out of the slow jump out times, which the market seems to hate early, but he's shown a lot of ability to jump outs, I thought he was way over the odds at sort of 26 into 19. Even at that price, I thought he was a single figures chance here. But Sebenak, I had Renoso still favourite, sort of 380. Sebenak I had sort of equal favourite, and I think at $5 I'd be happy to back Sebenak at the moment. And then once they come into the yard, maybe double down or
And just a little plug for Nico's stuff there. It's $4.40 for the next 6 months. So pay for 5 and then get 1 free. And if you only want to do week-to-week payments, it's $25. But I think it works out to be $17 a week for his mounting yard stuff. And as we said earlier in the show, he went 4 from 8 on top yesterday. So he's seen them very, very well off COVID and off a break. So make sure you have a shekel or two on 7.
Maybe it does improve you, the old COVID, like they're all saying.
Rafa,
Yeah. Well, wouldn't it? Yeah. Oh, you think your immune system would be better for it and a bit stronger and more up and about. So might have worked for you, Nico.
Yep, we're coming out firing, and like you said, we had a good day there at Sandown. I think Saturday is going to be an interesting day from the yard. You got these 2-year-olds, which I always sort of love looking at. The Manfred Stakes, which we're going to talk about. I was keen to back Paleli, but he came out. But even still, Generation, Unflinching goes around there, and you've also got Marine One. So that's kind of 2 fit horses they've been racing through the summer compared to Generation, who's first up. So that's going to be another interesting watch in the yard, and that's probably what's going to be the next few weeks. Next week we've got the CF4 where most of them are first up. So it's a real crucial time of the year to be sort of having a good profile on these horses and seeing how fit they are, because it really does mean something when they're sort of first and second up. Fitness can get them beat. Exactly
right. All right, let's have a look at race 9, the Premier Signs. I think Jake Norton's been fiddling with the races here. He's programmed Tuvalu as a little anchor in the last leg of the quad. He's mentioned that on the show. He likes to put the model. He's put Ayrton in there when he's programmed the races, but it's very strong favourite here for Lindsay Smith and Jared Fry. Continues to ride this horse. $2 into $1.90. Nicolini Vito is $5.50. Savannah Cloud $6. Basara is $13 and Our Despair is $20. The replay we're going to have a look at is Tuvalu. Talk us through it, Nico.
Big win, first up, enormous win. Beat Zoltan, who come out and won last Saturday, so the form looks good out of this. He barely gets out of second gear here. Fry just looks over the shoulder and thinks, well, I got you all covered, and then he just sort of lets him cruise to the line, ran an enormous figure here. I know he's in a fast run race early, but he just hasn't done anything on him late. He's still the fastest last 200 metres of this race. As I said, Zoltan's come out of him once since. He comes to Caulfield on Saturday. This horse has been beaten twice in its career, both times by Thunderstruck, and went very close to beating him one day at Moonee Valley, got within a half length. Every other start he's won comfortably. Looks like he's on track for a big campaign this preparation. Draws barrier 9. I think Fry will probably just roll across. Outside lead, 1 out, 1 back. I'm very surprised he's not shorter. I thought he'd come up like $1.60. I think $2 with your top-up token with TopSport. I think that's very generous shopping at the moment. I can see him starting $1.60, especially given that the MRC put him last race of the day, last leg of a lot of multis, quaddies, all those kinds of things. I could see him starting very short here.
Who do you think's leading the Victorian Country Jockeys Premiership?
Was it Fry?
It is. It's Jay Fry. He's flying. So Lindsay's using him, starting to use him a lot. I'll tell you what he is. He's a great, you reckon Meach is a good on-pace rider? Jay Fry is a great on-pace rider. I heard H. Coffey say, when we let Jay Fry get the front, he can really kick off a turn and catch you napping and things like that. So he's ridden the most winners on the provincial circuit so far this year, and he's a good rider. So don't worry about him being on this.
Looking at his sort of punting form data for his career, he goes at 9%. His last 50, he's gone at 16%.
Flying.
And he does ride a fair few horses that are outside the market.
And he does, that's right. Now because he's going good, Lindsay's spotted him, throwing him a bone. So he won't. He's no issues backing Jay Fry. If you think about country jockey at short odds here, wouldn't be worried about it.
No, he's got a bit of the Iceman about him. Jay Fry.
He does too.
He won't care.
He doesn't feel the pressure.
Now, this looks a very easy race for Tuvalu. I think he's got group class ability. I think he's already showed that, and he's in a benchmark race later in the card at Caulfield, but I really can't see him getting beat. I think $1.90, $2 around that most places. He's good value. Nicolini Vito is flying and probably looking for 1,600 now, coming off a good win last start. Hopefully he just holds up some market percentage, because I think he's probably Saturday listed class. Tuvalu is probably proper group class horse and could progress to something very nice this autumn.
It's an interesting one, you say, with Jared Fry. Like in the early days of DK Weir, when he was kicking off and having all that country success before he ballooned and got really, really big, it was Jay Fry at the helm there, riding a lot of winners for him. DK
it was, yeah. A lot of those B Mellum came through there. I remember B Cross back in the day. Yeah, but Jay Fry, and it was great education for them all. And then it's tougher, especially when they're apprentices. Then it's tougher when they go out on their own. And he's never really had any support at big stables. He's just sort of picked up around the edges, Jay Fry. But good. Always been a good on-pace rider. Never worried about backing one if Jay Fry was on it. So I think he might have been injured last year or something like that. He might have had some time off.
Yeah, I think he broke his foot or something like that.
And then
and
then he's come back very strong. So good on him.
The stats that Nico just reeled off was puntingform.com.au, who are a major sponsor of us. Their database lives up on the cloud, and you can save all your notes, and you can get all the benchmark splits and sectional times there. It is absolute game changer for your betting. So I think it's $2.97 per month. So if you want to really step up your game, make sure you check out puntingform.com.au. And you can also buy the raw data and build your own custom-made models. So make sure you give Shane Baker a shout-out at Punting Form, and he'll definitely look after you. Up next, we've got Terry Leighton from the 1-1 pod. We're going to have a look at Ascot. We'll take a quick break, and he'll join us. Welcome back to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot. I've got DK and Nico out of Melbourne, and we're beaming into Perth, WA, the lockdown capital of the world. And it's Terry Leighton joining us again. How are you?
Very well, thanks, mate. Thanks for having us, guys.
Hey, Terry.
Last time we spoke to you, the NBL laws were changing in Perth, much to your delight, and Murphy's Law, it sounds like you've had a bit of a rough trot on the punt. So the bookies have probably skun you alive. But is everyone playing by the rules over there? Are they betting fairly?
They are, actually, yeah. I'm not having too many issues at all, to be honest with you. A couple of them I wasn't being set for. I made a quick phone call. They apologised. It's gone a lot better than I had expected. The battle now is just those prices holding till 9 a.m. We've got a lot of sharp operators over here in WA with tipping services and things of that nature. And for the prices to hold to 9 a.m. the next morning, if anything worthwhile, I guess that's the hard part. So, if they kicked in straight away, that'd be nice.
There's a little bit of a battle going on behind the scenes where punters are asking for automation to be able to place their bets. So there's a fair few bookmakers out there, and everyone wants just at the push of a button to be able to get set for their price. And I'm actually in the punter's corner here because all the corporates and all the bookmakers, they're allowed to use robots to set their markets, move their prices, and surely the punters need a tool where they can just press a button and they can get on as many bookmakers as they can afford to bet with and get on for their right whack. All they're trying to do is increase their turnover. The minimum bet rules are there for a reason, and to sit there with multiple tabs open is it's crazy. It's 1990s style betting, and just needs a little bit of a socks pulled up job there. But Terry, you said off air that you'd had a bit of a losing run, which it just steers us nicely into a conversation we had earlier in the show. What do you do to get your confidence back? Our man Mug Punter, who tips on the show, he's more of a recreational sort of weekend warrior type punter, and he's going through a losing patch. I said to respect the market. Some say take a break. DK says do a bit of both, respect the market and bat on and stick to your process and stick to your guns. But what's your advice for getting your confidence back?
Well, it's funny how quickly you can lose your confidence to some degree as well. I mean, before that little trumpet, I probably had about a 4-month run where I didn't feel like I backed a loser for about 4 months. And then you have 3 or 4. You have 3 weeks where you have a tough patch, and it rocks you very quickly. It's quite incredible, the game, but that's why we love it. But the thing I've always tried to do is when I do have a little bad run, I tend to do it properly. Like I can have 10, 11 winning weeks in a row, and then when I lose for 3 or 4 weeks, I have a proper loss. I don't muck around. So the last few times I could feel myself going down that sort of path, because a lot of the stuff I do isn't necessarily database. It's a lot by eye replay. Everything's by feel or memory of the horse, et cetera, et cetera. I lower staking a little bit, but as DK said, I stick to the processes basically, knowing that you've got the sort of the history behind you and it all will turn. But when you're in a slightly lower patch, I think I've now become better when I do back a winner and I'm not going as well, and I do have a half stake on it. I don't get angry because I think, well, hang on, you had 11 other losers and you've had a half stake on them as well. So, and then you feel like, yep, we're finding momentum. I'm feeling more confidence in my markets I'm creating. Then you sort of ramp it back up. But otherwise you can eat too much out of your bank. And I think that's the key. Don't eat too much out of the bank when you just know you're not seeing them that well.
Good advice. Bank management is critical. All right, Pinjarra. We've got a couple of Magic Millions races. And Spin the Nice come up favourite. Won't go through a couple of replays, but we'll save them for your best bets later in the card. But Spin the Nice, $1.80 at TopSport, and Red at 53 is $7, and that runner's undefeated. Tell us why Spin the Knife is so short, 180.
Oh, geez. Very simply, I reckon he's got two lengths on him. He's just extremely, extremely progressive. He's won 3 of 7. It's actually 4 of 7, but he was DQ'd. It must have been the pine poles that Luke Fernie was feeding him at the start of last prep. But first up, he met probably the main danger, one of the main dangers in Pixie Chicks, and just left Pixie Chicks standing, who had his back. There's a 2 kilo swing. The 1200's no issue. He's just progressive. He's just better than these. And this is a very, very, very thin race. As you said, the second favourite, Red 53. Do you know what it's named after? It's named after Damien Martin, the Perth Wildcat. He owns a share in it as well because he was a red and he was number 53. There's a bit of a stat which no one cares about. It trialled pretty ordinarily recently, and I'm always wary of a horse that's won 3 in a row, had a spell, and then they come back with a gear change, especially a big one like the Blinkers. I mean, to me, that just says behind the scenes it perhaps isn't going as well, so they're trying to mix things up. So, mate, just bad luck, beat Spin the Knife here.
Okay, so we might take that into a little double with Tavalu, the good thing that Nico has found. In the 2-year-old race, Street Parade's open up favourite from the Russell Stewart yard. He's $3.90, and then She's a Belter, $4.20 from the Luke Fernie yard, who you got a good association with. And She's Graceful, $4.60, and then All King's Men, $10. Man Crush, $10. Which way are you leaning here?
It's a funny race, this one, because with the 2-year-old, you'd expect a lot of sort of jump and run types, a lot of horses that want to find the fence and roll along, but there's no real leaders in this, which is quite incredible. So I think Street Parade might show some aggression from the gate, but the one, we're going to need some luck in the run. The one for me that's been the pick of the runs to date is She's a Belter, horse number 8, round about that $4 mark at the moment. Wouldn't surprise me if we see even a slightly longer price late because of the sticky gate. But they went absolutely mad at her last start. And after sitting from coming from last and winning on debut, she went and sat outside the leader, and a race dominated by off-speed horses. She had no right whatsoever to be anywhere near the finish. Gave a kick, beat home Street Parade. If Clint Johnston-Porter finds a spot midfield and gets out into the big long Pinjarra straight, I'm pretty confident She's a Belter can get the job done, but want $4.50 to bet, I reckon. Just with the sticky gate, a lot can go wrong.
Okay, and Pike making the move to Sydney. Who's taking over the riding ranks there? Who's stepped up to the plate? Is it Porter? Or?
I'm still too sad to talk about it, to be honest with you. It's broken my heart. I am flat as. It took me...
Your fair income, Terry? I thought from maybe a punting perspective, it probably opens up things and more opportunities. You're looking at it the other way?
Yeah, definitely from a punting. I'm mainly talking from a punting point of view, I guess. I reckon it took me 5 years because obviously we all know about the Pike price and things being under the odds, but there's also I sort of feel like I've got a grip on that and understand where Pike just under the odds and we could find a bet against him. But I also think I know where Pike is really good value on a horse he may not have ridden in the past. And even though it looks like a thin price, it's actually still a good price. So I think I'd sort of gotten a hold on William Pike and where he was value and where he wasn't value. So a bit flat to see him go. But Scoot, to answer your question, Chris Parnham, Clint Johnston-Porter are the two. But Chris Parnham, for me, is still our best jockey in regards to making less mistakes. Horses probably go better for CJP, but every second one of his rides is held up for most of the straight, so he's a risk
and
to follow.
Just along the same theme too, with Grant and Alana Williams, there's things changing there, isn't there, Terry?
Yeah, there is. It's just Grant Williams now. You'll see in the book. I don't know how that's affecting everything at home. I was quite interested last night having a look at some of the their recent form, and they've only had 2 winners in the last, I think it's 5 weeks or something, and they were Midnight Blue in the Perth Cup at $3 and the Cox Stakes, Regal Power at $1.40. So they're obviously, things aren't going all that well for them at home. But Alana's not allowed to be around the horses at the moment, so it's just Grant Williams. So,
and then they're looking at coming over here, weren't they? To have a satellite stable, and wasn't Bob Peters not going to? They were opening up to different clients, and it's all a bit happening.
Yeah, they spent. I think they're spending a fair bit at the sales and got a few people committed, and it's probably not the best time for it all to occur for them, but I guess more will be revealed in time. But it's an interesting situation out west for some of the players that obviously haven't been vaccinated and how they've sort of been excluded from the game to some degree. It's a bit sad, to be honest.
I mean, we put shit on New South Wales with Philandis and that, but dead set. There's a new North Korea in town. It's over there in the west, I tell you. McGowan, fair income. Kim Jong.
Yeah, I tell you what, because even Alana, she sort of said, I don't mind not going to the races, but she's not allowed to work her horses at home, which to me that doesn't make any sense, like whatsoever. That doesn't make any sense. The common sense rule seems to be thrown out the door, and McGowan, definitely don't want to start talking politics, but McGowan's there's a bit of an us against them mentality he's trying to promote, and doesn't feel good. It just doesn't feel good with how it's all happening over here.
Well, the racing in Perth's probably been worse off for it because there's been no interstate horses go there forever. It's just been their own sort of pool, and even sort of with the carnival over the sort of last 2 years, there's just been no sort of shippers that have gone in. So maybe that sort of changes next spring for the railway and the Winterbottom and all those kind of races. But you're just dealing with the same pool of horses nearly every year now. Like we're talking about Regal Power 2 years ago, like winning an All-Star Mile. Or I think did he win the All-Star Mile? He ran second. I can't remember, but
he won at Superstorm, went second.
And now he's coming out, and 2 years later, he's still going around after an injury and still going around $1.40 over there. So
it's pretty thin. The worst part is, there's a lot of horses over here. You probably get to that awkward rating where there's no handicaps because you're rated too high, but you're not good enough for the weight for age horses. And I've got a share in one called Dig Deep, and the owner said the trainer said we would have gone over to Melbourne. We would have had a night. That would have been something to have a little lads trip over. I don't think I'll have too many horses running in Melbourne, but we can't get over. So they've had a stack of horses that can't visit there. And we've obviously, WA that is, had big success in taking horses to to Melbourne and Sydney for a period there. And it's just not really doable at the moment. So, it's hard work. Hard work's the best way to put it.
It's a dire situation for turnover too, because I imagine a lot of the recreational dollars will just flow straight out of WA racing, and all the Pike fans will just follow him in Sydney and place their dollars on him there. So it's going to be fascinating to see what happens with the betting markets. As you said, I can understand. It was sort of like the Weir factor. DK Weir was so big, and so many people had figured out how to operate the DK Weir stable, and it'd be similar if Chris Waller. There'd be a vacuum out if Chris Waller stopped training into New South Wales and went somewhere else, or whatever happened to him. It'd be a massive vacuum, and punters now scratching their heads, going, "All right, how do we attack this?" And a lot of the people would, throw away the game, and a lot of people will probably walk away from the punt over in WA because Pike's not riding. So it's a fascinating scenario, and again, a lot of it doesn't make sense, and it's just a mind blowing scenario, and especially with that Grant Alana Williams, it's definitely a head scratcher, but hopefully we can find you a winner nonetheless. And let's have a look at race 9. This is one of your better bets. It's the Spruker has come up favourite here at TopSport $3 in the Geisel Park mile over 1,600 metres. This horse, Spruker, is stepping up 1,500 metres. Beret is $4.20. Proconstant is $4.20. Dom to Shoot is a familiar name for most people over here, is $10. And
Collingwood supporters?
Yeah, Solaya is $12. Yeah, really well named there. A bit of a dagger there. But the Spruker is the replay we're going to have a look at there. And this horse is in the blue silks with the red hat. And it goes to the front here. And talk us through this.
Yeah, so the Spruker drew wide on this occasion. And from that gate, they were forced really just to roll to the breeze. Better horse with a little bit of cover. Pro Consent got its back. And it took Clint the entire straight to basically get the Spruker beaten under a half length. The merit was so the advantage that day was with horses who did race with a bit of cover. So the merit was really in the run of the Spruker. I think had you swapped the gate, you would have swapped the result and probably swapped it by a length. Nice little weight swing in the Spruker's corner. The two dangers of Pro Consent, who's now drawn off. As I said, I can't see under normal race conditions Pro Consent beating the Spruker this time around. And the other one's Beret, who missed a run, drops out of the fillies and mares races, who I'm not as convinced with the strength of those form lines. You look at horses like Playing Marika ran second in both. To me, that's a worry. So, the Spruker's a $2.30 type setup for me. So we're getting around that $3 mark at the moment. That's easily my best today.
And there's a little bit of a trick in the form guide. It says he hasn't won at the distance that the form guide I'm looking at, but he won over 1,650 on a heavy track. So 1,500 to a mile will be absolutely no worries there. Let's have a look at your other value bet here, and it's race 10 It's the I'm All the Talk handicap over 1,200 metres, and Clairvoyance is the top sport favourite here, 290. Sun is 460. Comes the time, $7. Platinum Bullet, $7.50, and Eeyore Ways, $11. Rain of Fire, $13, and much better. The rest, the replay we're going to have a look at. Nice little run here at Pinjarra is Eeyore Ways, just in the yellow with the purple, just storming home, and he's sort of in between the two halves of the field there, pulling out the outside now.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things I really liked is he's usually been unable to sort of tack on. He would be the one at the back of the second half of the field, run the slasher and not be able to get there. So he's had the 61.5 kilos on this particular day. And for a sitting sprinter on a hot temper to pick up under that weight and get past him, I just thought it was huge. The leader came out and won well at Ascot last week on Saturday. But it's not just that run. If you go to Eeyore Ways' runs all campaign, the prior start, they had him back to the 1,000 and they rode him for speed. He never got it back. He was never happy. He was only beaten just over 2 lengths, Miss Kentucky. Prior start should have beaten Island Charm, one of the biggest morals beaten of all time. This is a horse who, at his best, is as good a sprinter that, there was talk about Winterbottoms and whatnot a couple of years ago, and I think they've got him back to that, if not even better. There's a little bit of tempo on here. I just can't believe they're beating you each way. I genuinely cannot believe. This is his favourite track. He's 2 from 2 at Pinjarra. Both wins have been dominant. He drops 4.5 kilos, and this is harder, but I don't think it's 4.5 kilos harder, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, as you said, Scoot, Clairvoyance is in the race. Clairvoyance will lead. It's just about how many more chances you want to give Clairvoyance. That's the thing. So she should be able to kick through. As you can see, with Clairvoyance here, Pikey ended up 3 deep, no cover, and she gave it up pretty quickly from that spot, which is understandable. It was that was a funny old run race. It got to the point of the day where everyone was expecting her to find the breeze, but every leader or breeze horse was winning, so every other horse wanted to go and find the breeze, and from that point she was in a fair bit of trouble. Her best wins this. Her best subtract 3 lengths probably wins this, but there's just a big query coming back from her injury whether she can sort of show that again. So I've marked those 2 clearly at the top of my mark. It's either, I think some people will want to play away, save Clairvoyance, and I don't think that's a bad goal. I'm $2.90 Clairvoyance, $3.90 Eeyore Ways. So it's either you sort of save Clairvoyance, play Eeyore Ways, or just attack Eeyore Ways each way. But last of the day, pretty keen, very excited. We're seeing double figures, if you can't tell.
Gee, a horse that drops out like that. I know she was sort of 3 wide and gassed early, but she was there in the yellow with the red cap and was just in reverse hard. Runs second last, had W Pike on. Now backs up after a week later, sits there at $2.90, $3. DK, I don't know about you, but that scares the living bejesus out of me, and I'd rather go Terry's Eeyore Ways, the slot, and something on the nose there. What do you think about those sort of runs, DK? How do you like? Like, it's a big step back in class, gets the claim, but she's coming back from stakes level to a much lower grade here. But I'm very nervous about backing a horse that's dropped out like that.
It's not really my forte because the pool of horses I deal in. But what I do find is that a lot of the ratings databases and things like that have those things very short because they've got this big figure, and so there's just no value. There's no value in it, And so they put them up really short. So my first instinct would be to look around it,
And you hear a lot of people talking about like horses like her always going to be chasing to get back to that massive figure that she's running. You hear that a lot of sort of horses who run a big figure on debut and they never get back to that sort of mark. So, off the injury, and now she's put in 2 pretty average ones, her first 2 runs back. I know she's a long way back in grade, but she hasn't done anything this prep that makes
That's the other thing. You want to see something.
Yeah. She just, like Scoot said, she's in reverse.
The trial was a bit of a query. I mean, the big thing in her favour here is the fact that there is not one other horse, which again, over 1,200 is quite amazing, that will want to find the front and roll them along. So she hasn't been stepping that well, but she can still muster. So she'll be able to step, find the top. And I think the general thought process is her 3 best runs, if she runs within 3 lengths of those 3, then she'll win it. But you're brave. You're brave if you're hopping in again. That's why I've sort of looked a little bit further afield, and especially if she's stopping, it'll suit those coming down the centre of the track, which is hopefully Eeyore Ways.
Eeyore Ways back to his favourite deck at Pinjarra. All right, great to talk to you, Terry. Hopefully you get over your Pike loss and WA's losses, Sydney's gain. So you might be dabbling and finding yourself into the Sydney pond and finding some horses that Willie Pike might suit over here.
I might flick you guys a few texts and saying when am I hopping on Pikey just to get me fixed, because I'm already having some William Pike withdrawals. But thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it as always.
All right, good luck. And if you want more of Terry stuff, make sure you check out the 1-1 Pod. It's a weekly show on all things Perth racing, and he's got some sharp cats on it. So always a very good listen. He's good mate Luke Fernie. Seems to be the stable on the rise. It seems like he's got someone tipping in there, and they're starting to buy all the right sort of horses. So fantastic to hear a young guy having a really good crack at it. So they're doing great things over there in Perth. All right, it's now time to talk about Muggs Morrill. He's out of form, but he's knocking the door down. I'm sure of it. Let's hear from him now.
Hi guys, Mug here with this week's Muggs Morrill. The Mug needs to get some confidence back with these tips. So, how do you find confidence when you are tipping? I have no clue. I did put out on my socials today about confidence. I got some very strange answers, but you've all come to hear the Muggs Morrill. And it is Randwick, race 4. Number 1, Markovic. This horse loves the 1,000, loves the soft track, and loves the distance. I'm just confident this week of winning because all the tracks are just leading in Sydney. They're all leading. The last few weeks is leading or rails. So it should just get straight to the front and go bada bing, bada boom. There's your winner, boys. Then we go find our bookie. And also another one of the Mugs tips is race 10, number 8. Through the cracks. It's been running some bottlers of a race the last 2 starts. It's only been beaten 1.51 and 0.98 lengths. And it should be ready to win this start. And the price is on TopSport is $3.70. So boys, the Muggs Morrill this week is race 4, number 1, Markovic. And the other tip is race 10, number 8, Through the Cracks. And boys, help the Mug get some confidence back on the punt and tipping. And boys, what does the Mug say when we have a winner? Go find your bookie. Good luck, boys. I'll speak to you next week.
The Mug punter, I think he's found the right camp there. Bjorn Baker is very good over the summer months. And
Markovic, what's that? Markovic, Brian Markovic. Used to call the races. Is it Markovic?
No, it's Malkovich. I think it's named after.
What's Malkovich?
Malkovich, not Brian Markovic. 2K. But race 4, number 1, I think it's 340 at TopSport. Bjorn Baker, he's absolutely on fire. His video on Twitter last Saturday, kicking home a winner, is what the game is all about. We retweeted it, so make sure you check out Little Birdie TV to see Bjorn going absolutely off his brain last week. And Through the Cracks is another one that is a bit stiff last time, Mug. 370 for race 10, number 8, Through the Cracks. Let's have a look at some of the TopSport Big Bets or the steam as the early money and see where that's going. Randwick race 5, number 5, Yukon here is 1,500 at 440. Any thoughts here, boys? Should have probably asked Walt.
Yeah, seems one for Walt. He's had a few trips down to Melbourne, Yukon, and always one that catches the eye in the yard, but I don't know if there's much more to him. Could be a bit, looks like Tarzan races like Jane, old Yukon.
And the next one here is race 9, number 10, Mautai. It's 1,300 at 460. I found Nico's horse here, Caulfield race 9, number 2, Tuvalu, 30,000 at even money there. So you can probably still use the TopSport boost there and get it back up to even money. If you want to check that out, everyone gets a boost at TopSport. If you're a marked account, you still get the rewards and the boost. So fantastic stuff that the Merlins do there. They give everyone a fair go. So you make sure you bet where the pros bet at TopSport. And then Morpheville race 4, number 3, poor old Bagman. We sacked him. He tipped a winner in a second placing at $10 and $3 a place. And I've just given him the old Basil brush. So maybe we'll get Bagman on next week. But definitely he can be he can be on the show next week. My sausage dog's just started to lick my legs. So I've sort of I've lost it. He wrecked the sausage dog.
Rexy.
Mate, I tell you what, he's been chasing lizards. He's on a death wish in Queensland. He won't stop licking my leggy. He's been cutting laps in the big lake, DK, and he's just jumping, after water dragons into our pool. So it's I'll get some video footage and make sure I share it with you. But he won't stop licking my legs here, so I know how jumpy and you feel, DK, from the streams. But been a massive show. Feels like we've been on air for about 2 hours. Some great takeaways from the mug. I hope you get your confidence back on the punt if you're having a losing run, and make sure you manage your bank, because if you haven't got bullets, you shouldn't be betting. And make sure if you're not seeing too well, drop your stakes is a really good piece of advice from Terry Leighton. And the punt is, as we say, it's a 12-month game. And if you need some help, make sure you check out DK's product as well. 69 units he won last year.
Back on tonight.
One
Backing
tonight.
up first bet back tonight. Look out. Think could be a dead set machine tonight. Just fingers crossed, this could piss in tonight. Anyway, see how we go.
He's on fire, and so is Nico, 4 from 8 last week. So make sure you check out Nico's Mounting Yard Mail. It's very important at the start of their preparations to see how they're parading the yard, and he's definitely got his eye in. COVID's improved him, just like Rafa, just like me. So we're all COVID-proof. Hopefully, Walt starts licking half spoons, and he can just get the COVID out of the way so we can get him back in studio. But it's been a good little show. The Gold Coast, us and the boys down in Melbourne, holding the fort down there in wintry Melbourne. Can't say I miss the joint, but I miss the boys, and hopefully I'll be down there in a couple of weeks for a jar. But thanks for joining us. Make sure you follow Bet Doctor TV at Twitter, and check out the Apple Store for Spotify, and you can get your podcast there as well. So we'll see you next week.